put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Well, hello, everybody. I hope you like that new jingle, Jingle Jangle. I was told I had to liven up that music a little bit for the midnight hour, 11 o'clock in the Central, where you're at, 12 where I'm at. Welcome to BMR KRISTA Live with BRANDI and TEX. They're in the back. Got a great show in store for you. So thanks for coming in. You know, a lot of people had suggested, hey, Rob, you got to keep putting out these Saturdays. Start that as a thing, you know, here and there. And you know what? If you guys want it, well, I'm going to put it out for you. And that's just the way we roll around here. With that, I'm going to bring up my lovely audience. Well, my lovely audience is out in the audience, but my friends, of course. We all know KRISTA, the Blondes and the Booze Paranormal Podcast. Please subscribe on YouTube.
Please do.
And of course, the other lovely partner over there with the Blondes and Booze, BRANDI.
Hi, everybody.
Who I call Brando sometimes. Depends on my mood.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Well, now it's Sunday where I live.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. In fact, this guy is going to be heading up as the host with the most, the MC, the master of ceremonies. If you hadn't heard about him, his name is Tex Wesson. He's got something that's called Texas Front Porch. Subscribe if not already. He is teaming up with Anita Collier, putting together, well, we're all putting it together, actually, the Alabama Bigfoot Conference, June 7th and 8th. Barton Nunnally, Daryl Denton, the Blondes and the Booze, Jason McLean, Greg Ogles, Martin Gross, and, of course, yours truly, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Tickets are cheap, $30 online, $35 at the door at the Performing Arts Center in Anniston. Brought to you by Sidekicks, not Side Chicks. June 7th, we kick it off with a meet and greet at some sizzling steakhouse or something. You can get that on BamaBigfootConference.com. I guess it's already booked. We won't turn you away at the door because, the restaurant's not going to turn down any money. And, of course, we want to meet all you guys. I want to thank everybody for coming in, of course, buying my book on Amazon. I always got to throw my book out there because book 2 is already coming out in the middle of the summer, if you can believe it. Leave when Amazon comes calling, please leave a review. It does help promote book sales. So thank you so much for that. And there's Texas. I should say Texas. That was a little slip. I'm sorry, Tex.
Well, I think you've been listening to Danielle too long.
Yeah, perhaps I have.
Calling me Texas.
That's right. That's where Texas came from, Ms. Diva. You can find her too at 8 o'clock on Monday on Texas Front Porch. And with Tex again on Sunday at 7 for Infamous Minds. Well, hell, I might as well go through the lineup. Texas Front Porch is Monday, 8 to 11, kicking it off with Daniel Diva at 8. And a Tuesday, Beyond BMR at 9 o'clock in the East. And then we roll into Wednesday. What we got going on? Well, Wednesday's Barton Nunnally in Humanoids. Check out Barton. And then I believe nothing else after that. Thursday, brunch with Bigfoot, Mr. Rob, at 1 o'clock in the East. Thank you for that. Me and KRISTA are on Tuesday. Right. I'm with Tex on Thursday for brunch. Right. And then another new show on Texas Front Porch with another lovely one we've added. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World, 8 o'clock in the East on the Front Porch. Thank you from Tex for that. Whoa, nice 10 new BMR Pirates. Arrgh. Join today. That gives me about 130 strong or so. Thank you, Texas. I'm done to Texas. Thank you.
Not a problem there, Michigan.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Just call him Boomer.
Yeah, PRT, good old Josh Boomer, my new nickname, I guess, over there on the PRT side of things.
Yep.
So again, Our Paranormal World, Monica Rollins, 8 in the East, 9 in the East, the Blondes, the Booze, the Paranormal Podcast. And then that's it Thursday. Then Friday, right back with the Blondes, the Booze, and the Woo. They come on at 8. They go back an hour. Then, of course, Saturday is Truth or Tinfoil. That's the channel, and that's Randy and Brandy. They break down videos and pictures. They have fun with that show. It's a cool show. Is it real? Is it fake? They just throw out their opinions, and they have a lot of fun with the people on chat. Great show. I recommend it. Go check it out. Thanks for providing that show for us all. And then, of course, if you like true crime, Tex comes on with True Crime with Diva, 7 in the East, Texas Front Porch, both found on Sunday. And you all know PRT is on like all the time. He's still probably running now, but he always has a great show going on over there. So thanks for all of you that come in. We're almost up to 50 already, which I really appreciate that. Hey, Nellie Turner, good to see you. Good to see everybody in chat. And
I just talked to Nellie on the phone. We were talking about, I went to the movies today and seen King Kong and Godzilla, and she's seen it too. So we had a conversation about that movie.
We did. And if you want to give us a little, without giving away the movie, go ahead, KRISTA, because I don't want to tell this encounter story until maybe 30 minutes in, because it's about 5 minutes, and I want to wait for more people to come in. But I've got to tell you this. I was never a Godzilla fan until I met Tex, Jason, and Randy, who insist upon these movies being so good. Well, the first one I watched totally sucked, and I told them that, and then they all said that was the wrong one. So I've watched about 5 of them, and I must say I'm a fan today now.
Yeah, well, I was never a Godzilla fan, but I always liked King Kong. So I don't know. It was just this afternoon. We thought we'd hit the matinee, me and my 12-year-old daughter, and we went over there. And like I told you guys, we paid more for 2 sodas and 2 popcorns than we did for the movie. But it's definitely, I think it was well worth going out to see. It's mainly Kong. I guess Tex, you said it was a leftover of the first one.
Yeah,
they threw him loose in Inner Earth. Mm-hmm. And it just, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but then they get the bad ones and the good ones, and it's all good, but it's worth going to see.
I think I'll have to see it. I haven't been to an actual movie theater. I'll tell you guys straight up. I can't tell you the last movie I saw at the theater. I don't remember.
And what's really cool though? Okay, so like they have, the previews before the shows. That's another thing Nellie and I were talking about. That one of the previews is a new Twister. Remember the movie Twister? That one's coming out.
Yes,
I love that
I
movie.
saw that. Yeah.
Planet of the Apes is one coming out. And one we really got excited about is Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I must say that I never saw Beetlejuice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I have. I mean, is that something I have to watch?
You gotta
Oh,
watch
you
Yes.
gotta see Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
It's Michael Keaton at his very best.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to. Yeah, Nellie says what? I guess referring to me. I never saw Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I guess I saw Michael Keaton and Mr. Mom when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was a
And
good one.
And
Yeah.
it was fun, but that I figured I immediately stereotyped him into being that sort of actor. But as we all know, he's a lot better actor than that. In fact, he's one of my favorite Batman.
Yeah. He was a cool Batman.
So
But no, I mean, I don't think that anybody in this world could play Beetlejuice like him.
No.
Agreed.
Mm-mm.
Well, let me ask you another question. If you've never seen Beetlejuice, have you seen Edward Scissorhands?
oh my God, Krista,
Just
And-
asking.
everybody listen. Everybody right now, see, we have some telepathy going on because I was going to say that next. Johnny Depp, who I like Johnny
Mhm.
Depp. I've never seen Edward Scissorhands.
Oh my gosh, BMR, man.
Chris, so we got some telepathy going on. How you read my
Oh,
mind because I was going to say that. I swear I was going to say that next. The
Mhm.
other movie that I get criticized for, Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands. That's with another one I like too. The girl he dated for a while there, Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
Mhm.
She's in that. Yeah, I always liked her.
yeah. That's funny. That's too
Yeah.
funny. I can't believe you've never seen those two movies.
Oh, did
Yeah.
Winona Ryder play in Beetlejuice too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
no, she did. Well, I definitely got to go find those now.
It's
Yeah.
a movie night. I see it. I see this already. It's movie
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
My head is
But
now spinning.
What are we doing? Watching all the shows that BMR has not watched and needs to.
Yeah, we gotta do. This would be something, just a random thing we all should do. We should. I've seen other people do this, not to copy anybody. I think it'd be cool if we got all our friends together and did a show. Don't care who does it, right? And we put up one of the movies and we just all watch it and kind of chat and critique it. As
Okay.
it go. That'd be
Okay.
that's a cool idea. But then again, if there's copyright things, we'd have to figure that out. So I guess we just wouldn't monetize it. I guess I don't know. If you
No,
could
you
even
just
do
don't
that.
play the sound. You just play our reactions and give the time and the
Okay.
channel of the show, and we all watch it at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so everybody else can see it and hear it, but you can't see it and hear it on the stream.
Right.
Yeah, Edith, I did like 21 Jump Street. That's where I first found Johnny Depp. Most of us probably found him there as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liberty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liberty.
Liberty.
Thank you. Yes.
That's for the popcorn fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
gonna
right,
need that.
Liberty. That's right. The popcorn fun. We got it started already. That's awesome, Liberty. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Now there's some, like, I'm not one that goes to the movies a whole lot either, and there's some good ones coming out. All those that I just named, that are getting ready to come out, I'm going to see them all.
I'm terrible. I can't go to the movies or nothing because once my body stops moving, I go to sleep.
Well, oh my gosh, and they make it hard not to go to sleep because now they have recliners and they're heated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's so bad going to the
Now I won't have that in my small little town, but it would be nice.
Okay,
Yep.
so what is y'all's favorite zombie movie?
Night of the Living Dead. It's classic.
Mine is Return of the Night of the Return of the Night. The 1980s, man.
Yeah,
Love it, man.
can't go wrong.
I'm with KRISTA. I did Night of the Living Dead, the black and white really freaked me out, especially when at the end, man, the guy gets killed by a human. And I'm sure I'm not giving that away. Everyone's seen that. But I got to tell you this, I kind of like Zombieland with Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
That was
Yeah,
good. That was good.
it was
He was on the hunt for Twinkies. I remember.
yes.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's crazy. That's
Mine was what is it? Is it called Army of Darkness or that? What is that movie? I don't remember what it was. Crud. It was a long time ago too. I know this. It was back in the 90s. And what it was is these two friends, okay? The one had a girlfriend, which they broke up because him and his best friend just hung together all the time. And you know, his best friend was kind of like a slacker and didn't want to do anything. So this whole zombie apocalypse happens. And then the three of them, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, and the best friend, they're all running around. And then the next thing you know, that the best friend gets bitten. So at the end of the movie, instead of killing him off, he kind of ties him up in the shed and goes out and plays video games with them in the end. And it's really good. I wish I could remember the name of that one.
Oh my
God!
God!
I laughed so hard because I'm like, that's kind of what's going to happen with us.
Yeah. You know
I can't
what?
kill you off, so we're just going to tie you up, feed you raw chicken or something.
Movie that I really, really like, and I would still sit down and watch it today. And it scared me as a kid, and I don't know why, because honestly, it's kind of stupid. But it's good. And that was Children of the Corn. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that was a scary one as well. I remember
Scott's
that
Life.
one.
Yes, it was an English movie. Yes, it was. Because they hid out in the pub. Yes.
There's one more, you guys, that really freaks me out. And no, I'm not going to go back to the Linda Blair movie.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. Okay.
Shaun of the Dead. Okay. So that's one of my favorite ones. There you go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you one movie that really creeped me out. And again, I forgot the name of it. But when you mentioned like the Army of Darkness or whatever, this was the very first one. And I saw this in high school. It was about the group of college kids or high schoolers, whatever they were. They were in the woods in the middle of nowhere. And they read from the Book of the Dead. And I guess in the basement of this cottage they were in, or the cabin, they brought up all the demons, and they were trapped. And one of their friends turned into a demon. They had to throw them down into the basement, and then the entire woods came alive with demonic forces. Forgot the name of it. I wish I did too, Brandy. I'm like you. I kind of forgot it.
The Evil Dead.
Yes, thank you. The original, the very first Evil Dead creeped me out for eternity. It seems.
I agree, man, Mark. Cabin in the Woods. I like Cabin in the Woods.
Me too. That's a good one. Yeah.
Because I like the whole. It was total. To me, it was original. You know. Now I wish they'd done something other than the cannibal hillbilly zombies, but because I was like the guy in the government guy. I wanted to see the merman. But when they got in there and where everything was caged up and all that kind of stuff, and he found out that it was actually, darker, bigger forces running the whole thing from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I kind of think it might be what's going on nowadays.
Could very well be.
Hey, very well could be, Tex. And we can talk about that a little later. Before I get into this, I dropped a video today, and we're going to talk about that. But before I do, I'm having a little bit of fun with the audience really quickly. And for those who saw the video, it was earlier this afternoon. I've been getting people telling me about helmet. We all were talking food on one of our shows, and you know how we do. We like to talk about food, right? So I guess the subject was Hellman's mayonnaise versus Duke's mayonnaise. Now, I posted a question in the video before I did the video.
I heard your question.
I put on Facebook, So people have been saying, hey, Rob, you got to try Duke's. So I've been looking for this Duke's mayonnaise. Can't find it. I don't know if it's a Southern thing or if it's regional. So I'm trying to find Duke's. I'm not going to get it on Amazon. I'm not buying food like that, especially through Amazon. So I posed the question, should Rob make the switch from Hellman's to Duke's, or at least try Duke's? So I'm going to ask you three. People can leave a comment in chat if you want later on or after the show is over. So have you guys had Duke's? KRISTA will stop up right corner. No. So you're out. Brandi?
No.
You're out. Text.
Nope.
Okay, well,
I've
great.
never even heard of it. I'm 100% Hellman's, and I'll never switch.
Well, I tell you what, some of these people are like saying that Duke's is like fantastic.
It must be a Southern thing because Amy Creel says Duke's mayo is everywhere in Louisiana. In Louisiana, it's what I use. So
okay. Well, I'm definitely going to try to find this.
Nelly says yes, Duke's. Hellman is toxic.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people are liking Duke's.
Well, I'm striking out with Nelly tonight. I haven't seen two of her favorite movies, and I also love Hellman. So I'm definitely going to find the Duke's mayo. I do want to try it because I like it. I don't like Miracle Whip, although I'll sometimes combine.
Thank you, Two Shadows.
Thanks, Two Shadows. I'll sometimes combine Hellman's and Miracle Whip just for as.
See, I can't do Miracle Whip.
But I did it, and I almost puked.
And to me, it depends on what kind of sandwich or what I'm eating, which one I'll use, because I like them both. So, it just depends on what I'm eating.
You have to have mayonnaise if you're making tuna fish or ham salad. Okay. But I will say this. I like Miracle Whip on one kind of sandwich, and that is a bologna sandwich with lots of black pepper.
No. I don't like
it. But I never buy it. It's always Hellman's here. I will look. You know what I can do? Next time I'm at the grocery store, Rob, I'll look for Dukes, and if I can find some, I'll buy some and I'll send you a jar.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, I'll let you know because I think I could probably find it. In fact, tomorrow I'm gonna go look for. I'm gonna have
you know what? Not you're gonna be in Alabama. It's south. I bet they sell it in Alabama.
Yeah, prospecting says you can get it in Anniston.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it my mission though tomorrow to find Dukes because someone said. I forgot her name. That they left me a comment in one of the videos, so I can find it at Walmart.
Yep, Walmart has it. Marmar just said.
Marmar. Well, wow, Marmar and I are on the same page as well. So yeah.
You know, I like. Okay, I'm kind of a weird one, but I like mayonnaise, and it's usually Hellman's. But I like dipping my fries in it.
I've done that before. It's not weird.
Oh, y'all got that from.
I've done it for years and years and years. That's why I buy Hellman's. And when I go to like a restaurant and I ask for mayonnaise, I ask them, is it mayonnaise or Miracle Whip? Because Miracle Whip's got, I don't know, you can tell it's got little orange flakes in it.
Miracle Whip is a salad dressing.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. When I lived in Germany, that's how they would eat their French fries is with mayonnaise. They do not serve ketchup.
Really?
Okay.
Interesting.
No, and we eat our French fries with pork over there. By the way,
it's a European thing. That's when on oh god, what was it? Pulp Fiction when the guy came back over from Amsterdam. He was talking about the food and all that kind of stuff, like what they call a quarter pound with cheese. They call it a Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
And
Royale with cheese, yes.
They dip their fries in mayo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like an abomination.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Thank you, Josh Casto.
Thank you, Josh.
But I will tell you this. If we start getting on the ketchup side of things, Whataburger spicy ketchup.
That's the only one I was going to say. Now I can't get it here, but KRISTA and I, when we went to Texas, I had to stop at Whataburger, of course, and then I had to steal some extra ketchup just to bring home. I did.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret, and I don't know about y'all's, but Walmart now carries it. Not only that, you can go to Whataburger.com and buy it.
Oh wow.
Oh,
in a
wow.
box.
I bet you my Walmart don't
Well,
have it.
I
They
will-
never have anything.
Yeah.
I will say this, and again, before we get out with the story here, I will say this again. My first Whataburger. Is that how you say it? Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Was with
Whataburger.
Jason McLean when we were down in Texas. He was taking me to the airport. We stopped there, and I got I don't know what I got. I got a burger, which was good. And
Mhm.
then he said, "Rob, you got to get that ketchup with the spicy ketchup."
Mhm.
And I slathered it on my fries, and I dipped my burger in it as well. And yes, that was good. And another ketchup that I buy is Heinz tomato ketchup with Tabasco sauce mixed right in it.
Yeah.
I do that.
Well,
as
I'm
well.
just gonna say this. I don't care what it is. I love food.
Okay.
I think
I-
that
Bring it to me.
considering 80% of all of our shows, I
Just
don't care
bring it.
what it don't matter whose channel you watch, you guys. We end up talking about food somewhere during the live show, and that's just what we do.
Might as well start it off.
You know, we
Malt
might as well start
vinegar
our
on
own,
your
we gotta
fries.
start,
Dude, I don't
we gotta
malt
start our
vinegar.
own Food Network channel, I think. I think that'd be cool.
And you know what though? I'm really picky on food though. There's a whole lot that I won't eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, just put it on my plate.
Not me. So Martin
Hey.
wants to know what's Whataburger.
Whataburger is it used to be pretty much just a southern restaurant,
Mhm.
but it's probably one of if not the best fast food burger you'll get.
It's good.
Yeah, it
I
was
love
pretty good. Mine
And
was
it is primarily in the South though, because Missouri don't have any Whataburgers.
Not
They're
yet.
spreading,
Not yet.
They're spreading out.
They're spreading out though.
Nellie says, "Call your next next show Paranormal Potatoes."
There you go.
hey, there you go. That's awesome.
Well, we tend to be paranormal couch potatoes anyway, so it's not too far.
Yeah. Well, it is Saturday night. We're all sitting at home, Although I don't sell late anymore, anyways. And so thanks to everybody for coming on in. This is awesome.
Two Shadows, we still have those. Steak and shakes. We still have steak and
Oh
shakes.
yeah, I've never been there.
There's still one in my town, but I never go.
There's
That's
one.
I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with it. I'd really
So
go
what?
Whataburger.
Yeah, and we're going to the Sizzler House or something, June 7th.
Western sizzling.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
it is a buffet style restaurant.
Okay.
Good food.
And it was good. I'm going to tell you this. It was good. They had a lot of everything there. And it was good.
Valley
But
Brahms Burgers is very good. Brahms makes a good burger.
See, I don't care for Brahms. We have one of those in Missouri, in Springfield, and not a fan. of it.
see, all of y'all come from big cities. I don't have a lot of choice. So whenever you mention anything that I don't have, I'm like, oh really? What they got? What they serve?
Speaking of food, and one of our go-to places, BRANDI and I, every time we travel, we hit Waffle House. Right?
Oh,
Yes.
So let me tell
Yes.
you about my experience at Waffle House this morning. It was
uh-oh.
absolutely awful. So we go, me and my kid, it's just me and the 12-year-old this weekend. So we went to Waffle House for breakfast. And my waffle, the first one she brought to me was burnt. So I was very
No.
yeah, that was the first one. She said, so I was very nice. I sent it back. Olivia got a chocolate chip waffle and hers was also burnt. And Olivia's kind of looking at it. I could tell she didn't want to really eat it. So I was nice. And I was like, can we just get them not as dark, And so she brought me another one. The one that she brought me had a hair on it. She goes, oh, let me, I don't remember what she said, but she ended up taking my plate. And I saw the hair. So I watched her because where we were sitting, I watched her. All she did was go behind another girl and pull the hair off of my plate.
No, she did not.
Yes, she freaking did.
Oh,
Yes, she did.
God.
Okay, that's when KRISTA had to come apart. You don't do that to people. You don't freaking do that. Make me my third waffle. Yeah, I had a fit. She goes, well, it wasn't touching your food. I was like, I don't care. It was on the freaking plate. So, yeah,
You got to get a whole new plate.
so my kid is like this, she's like all embarrassed, but I'm sorry. That was wrong. I would not do that to anybody.
Mm-mm.
That's the
No
same
way.
place we go every time I'm up there, right?
Yeah, same one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that breaks my heart.
Yeah. I know.
Terrible.
I mean, it's always a mystery eating at these places because you're like, I don't know exactly, what I'm eating.
Well,
but
I don't. I genuinely don't give my food enough time to even me recognize if there's a foreign substance.
Yeah. Oh, I will tell this about TEX. I will say this about TEX. Then we will move on and get into something because we could do 2 hours of talking. But again, Krista brought up talking about food. Krista brought up Waffle House, and Tex knows this. I've never been to a Waffle House in my life, and I've done a lot of traveling down south. Never popped in. Here in the north, we call places like Waffle House slop and dines. Maybe that's familiar with everybody, but that's what we call them. So I went to my first Waffle House with Tex and Jason. I fell in love immediately. I loved it. I forgot what I got. It was some bowl of some sort, but I didn't get the waffle. Now, Tex, who says that, he guns his food in a matter of minutes. I guess so. But he was so
Not
kind.
so much now, but yeah, I used to.
But Tex was so kind to everybody because I forgot to get the damn waffle. Well, Tex got this platter of everything else, whatever the hell was on it. He saved me a waffle. He shared it with me. And thank you, Tex. I'll always remember that. That waffle was very good.
We bonded over the waffle.
We got close. We got extremely tight.
Yeah.
Food will draw people together. I think we all know that.
Yeah. Well, I know I won't be hitting my Waffle House anymore.
No, I would definitely make a call. I'd be like, this is what happened.
We actually, me and the girls go there like every Saturday morning. It's just our
You do?
Yeah. No more.
I did find a Waffle House 1 hour from me. In fact, Tex sent me it. It's in Toledo. Yet to be there because I just don't go to Toledo.
Yeah.
But with no offense to anybody out in Ohio.
Well, let me tell you now.
You got to get past Toledo, Rob.
Yeah.
The Front Porch Crew is becoming synonymous with hotel stories.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
My last trip, I went up to y'all all may remember. A couple weeks ago, I was up in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say where I was, but we were not alone in our bedroom. There were we had little friends,
as in like furry friends or like bed bug friends,
like buggy friends.
Oh.
And we didn't know it until the last night. We spent 3 nights there.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
And because what we thought we were getting mosquito bites, but then my nephew, the final morning, woke me up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. We got to go. What are you doing, man?
Oh, it's too late now.
Yeah.
And he had taken pictures and stuff like that, and I'm like,
burn
all
your
right,
clothes, don't take them home.
I said, we're out. So we changed. We got up, we got dressed, threw everything in our suitcase because by then everything, we'd been changing clothes 3 days and all this kind of stuff. Everything was questionable at that point.
Yep.
So we threw everything in our suitcases and threw the suitcases in the back of the truck, and they rode back in the back of the truck.
Do you know, true story, that is the first thing Brandy and I do when we hit a hotel room, isn't it, Brandy? We go straight to the beds and we look.
Well, yeah, I'll rip that mattress right up and look right underneath the bed.
Fancy hotel or the Super 8. We're looking.
We're looking.
And it's and unfortunately everybody relates that to having a crappy hotel, but it's not. You got to remember, folks. These things are high traffic, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna
it's having crappy guests is what it is.
It's not if, it's when you're going to run into it, especially if you travel a lot. Oh. And I am the world's worst about just coming in and making myself at home. I put my suitcase on the bed or on the floor or whatever, and I've never had a problem until this one time. And so I will be doing things differently. I will be, and I'm not only going to check my bed and stuff, I'm going to carry spray with me. So, but anyway, got home, stripped down out on the back porch, you know, and had to treat everything, all their clothes, treat my truck because we've been riding around in it for 3 days, you know, and so, but I will say this. And we reported it at the desk before we left, and they didn't get in touch with me. And I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna fly. So I gave them till Monday to get in touch with me, and I didn't hear anything. So I made a phone call, and they got back with me pronto, and not only comped me back for my stay, but comped my next stay if I decide to try them again.
Do you mind, like?
I'm not going to say. I'll tell you off air, but I'm not going to say who it is because they were very, I thought they handled it very well. Yeah. So, I mean, they said they went through the room. I think they treated it twice and blocked it off and the whole 9 yards and all that kind of stuff. Did a check of all their rooms and everything. So that they handled it very well, I thought. So.
Yeah. Still, honestly, I think they would have to literally close for several days and then get exterminators in there to really get rid of them.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you this. We had a bed bug problem at work one time. They found them in our mail room. And the problem was that our changing room for us guys backed right up to the mail room. Wow. But we weren't seeing anything. They were just in the mail room. So what they did was they offered everybody that worked in the mail room to pay to treat their house because they didn't know who had brought them or whatever. So, and they treated the whole building and was not a cheap endeavor. I mean, this is, a huge building and offered, to treat everybody's house for free. And one woman got irate and offended and quit. Well, that kind of tells the story right there.
It does. And, yes. It does. And speaking of stories, I'm going to get on with this one, but I got to tell you, that last story with the bed bugs text. I just cringe over that. I do.
Yeah. So, wow.
And again, I'm not going to get into it because I know there's certain things people bring these lights, they illuminate. If you brought a light and illuminated your room, you would never stay in any hotel. I don't care if it's a 10-star.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't want
to throw a black light on your room.
You do not at all.
Screaming from the hotel.
Not at all.
Real quick, Rob, JD Smooth says, I sent in Messenger to BRANDI, a guy killed his friend because he thought that he was going to feed him to Bigfoot. True story happened in Oklahoma. Yes, he was recently convicted of murder. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Sunday's Infamous Minds is on that subject. It's about that case.
Awesome.
No, that'll be cool. Yeah.
So.
Well, because I had heard the story, but he said he sent a whole thing about it. I was like, well, I hadn't heard a whole lot about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And before we get started, that's check out TEX. Yeah, I heard that too, man. Find out more on Infamous Minds. Texas Front Porch Sunday, 7:00. Subscribe if not already. John says bed bugs are the worst cryptid of all.
Yeah, right, John.
Yeah, I tell you, John, you're right on with that. Thanks for coming in. Thanks to everybody for coming in. So anyway, I dropped this video earlier today, which is doing pretty good, I guess, and.
It was good. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. And, I was going to do another story for my book, but I don't really want to do that. I did the one. People liked it. Thanks for watching it. Thank you for everybody. And, but so I go through my email. I got like 52 of these unread emails, and I picked on one. And I started reading this. And I'm like, holy cow, I'm going to do this as a video. I'm going to tell this guy's story. I'm going to read it. This story that I got was, first of all, for everybody, this story was this witness encounter. This guy experienced a Bigfoot. Well, I titled the story "Creature Boy," and there's a reason behind that. Okay, now the grandfather, when he was in his 30s, had this experience, and he wrote it down with a pencil on paper. And later on, as he got older in life, he passed the story to his grandchildren. In the email, I don't know if this was a boy, a granddaughter or grandson, didn't really specify, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And so the grandchild typed it out and saved it, and they kept it for posterity, right? For reasons they have, which is a good idea, I think. And this person went on to tell me that they had made this public on years ago when like there was blogs. Remember blogging? So it was on it made its rounds out there, but I never heard this before. And I always say people, you hear about a Bigfoot story, a lot of them are similar yet different. Bless you, Brando. But this is we've heard similar things to this, but I don't know if it's quite like this one. So as the story unfolds, this takes place in this man's early childhood with a group of 5 friends, and they were from West Virginia. Okay, and they all played out in the woods, all of them, all together, and they also had a cousin they brought along, so they would go out. There was a lot of mines out there. They explored the mines. They went swimming in the lakes. All this, and they spent a lot of time. And they picked all these berries. They picked berries and they brought them back. So I guess back in the day, and this was in the early '80s, I guess berries were worth money. I mean, you could sell them.
No, it was root. I think it was root.
Root. Okay, yes, that's what it was. And so,
Yeah,
and I guess the root also produces a berry, which kind of is another part of the story. So that's what they're doing. Thanks, KRISTA, for that. And then, so they're out there. Then they mention the story, and the man says, "From my earliest memories, we were also joined all the time from this another person, or as he says, creature boy." He kind of uses that term, and he says, "Hey, Rob, this was early '80s. It was unlike a human being. He just showed up. He never followed us home, but he always joined us. And back in the day, it was big. A lot of prejudice was going on. People, if you were a different color, they didn't want anything to do with you and such. But you got to remember, now these are kids in the onset of the story, and they really don't have prejudice. Kids are kids; they want to play. And I found it very intriguing that they befriended this kid because, in his explanation, this kid was smaller than all of them at the time, but he had these really huge feet, and he was covered in all this long black hair, covered him head to toe. And he joined them playing, and they would play for the entire summer. He became a part of their group. The thing that I didn't get and find out, though, I don't know if they spoke or anything, so that I don't know, because that's a question I had immediately.
Me too.
And I never got it answered. And of course, I just read it today. But so my bad for. Well, I should have waited, but anyway, I didn't. So oh well. So, and I lost the email. Luckily, I saved what I read, so I got to figure this all out. But anyway, it's moving on. So they're playing, and the years go by, everybody, and they started getting not as interested as much as playing in the woods. They got involved with ATV, motorbikes, or recreational type vehicles, dirt bikes, and they were just cruising around. And then they all got girlfriends, and this group of boys went their separate ways. Still were friends, still stayed in contact. But they never seen the creature boy again, the small kid covered in all his hair. So several years go by. Now these boys are younger adults in their 20s, and it's the grandfather and one of his buddies. They go back out into their old playing area, their own where they used to frolic about, right, as a group, and of course where creature boy, where they met this entity, this person, whatever. And again, they went about and they were digging up again the root. I remember that now. They're digging up more root because again, this is still an ongoing thing. I guess they had a farm, and I guess they provided, sold it, and such. So they're out there, and so across the river or the stream, one of the friends tries to get the attention of the grandpa and throws a rock in his direction to get his attention. And then he makes a motion to look across the stream. And they're standing there, about 7 feet tall, covered in all this black long hair, is what they remember as their buddy Creature Boy, but now all grown up. He's much bigger now, but they can tell it's the same person, I guess. This guy referred to this as a human being actually throughout a lot of this email. So I'm saying person a lot because that's what I remember he wrote on. It's called him a person. And then it let out this scream and this yell. It kind of scared the two, but they didn't think it was one to threaten them. I think it was trying to, they said that he thinks it was trying to communicate with them. And all of a sudden he notices coming out from the brush is another, what they call family. He mentions in this email his wife. He thought it was like one was the wife and then two smaller ones. So now he thinks it's a family. So these younger guys, now they're in their 20s, they yell across the river, "That's a beautiful family you have there." Something to that effect, to try to make them perhaps remember, I guess. And I guess there was a bond that went on there, right? And they knew each other. So the grandfather says, "Hey, I'm going to leave you some of these roots. I'm going to put them over here for you guys." So he did. He went about and left all these roots there, and said goodbye to the family of, I guess, Sasquatch or creature people, whatever. And then they left. Now, the next day they come back, and when they get back, the roots were taken. They were gone, but they were replaced with like acorns and berries and fruits, which they mentioned that was maybe their payment for it, and that was the return, traded with each other.
Yeah.
So they thought that was really cool. And so that's kind of the crux of that part of the story. And it goes on to say that one night that the grandmother at the cottage knew about the sightings of these creature people. And he calls them people because they had said the grandmother was boiling water one night. And I guess one of these beings were up and back of the cottage. And when they opened the back door, she threw out this boiling water. And I guess one of these family unit people, Sasquatch, however you want to phrase it, was standing at the back door and it hit them. And he makes mention that when the boiling water hit the hair, it kind of melted off. And it ran away howling and screaming. And then the next day, these kids went back out in the forest, said, "Please, if this was you, no ill will, no bad intentions. We didn't even know you were there," and so on. And then another couple things went on where cattle was turning up missing. Some were turned up dead or vanished from their ranch or their farm. So yeah, so that was a story. I mean, that's not. I mean, it's longer than that on the video, but I'm just giving the synopsis of it. So when I think about this, you guys and everyone listening, leave a comment or have a question. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, he was referring to this Sasquatch or this creature boy as a human being, the family. Again, don't know if they spoke. I guess at the end when they were older, tried to communicate with the screech or the yell. But boy, I mean, we've heard similar stories, right? But not quite like this. So what do you guys, I know you guys watched the video and I know you just heard this again. So I'll start with whoever wants to go. What's your thoughts of this entire episode that was laid out?
I mean, I personally think, why couldn't something like that happen? They're kids, so they don't know a difference. Just like, he mentioned about, like racism was big back then. Well, kids are taught that. They're not born racist, and prejudiced. Right. So why wouldn't they befriend something that, was bipedal and looked like them? It just looked different to them, but they didn't know, like to pick on it or be mean to it, or, you know what I'm saying? So why couldn't that have happened?
Yeah, and I'm thinking along the same lines, but think about our generation, Krista. We didn't have to come home till the street lights came on.
That's true.
So, our parents had no idea where we were at, what we
Right.
were doing.
Right. And if this was in the
Because
80s, I could see that.
yeah, our parents were working, so we were latchkey kids. So could we have been out in the woods and run across something like that and befriended it? Sure.
Sure.
I absolutely believe that 100%.
Yeah. And as kids, like I said, they don't know the difference between, color, or you have more hair than I do, or your feet are big, or,
No.
they're kids. They're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, that was a time too where you could turn out your younger kids
Mhm.
outside
Yeah.
and be okay with them,
Right.
being out there and not having to watch them every second.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see that one. That I would believe that story.
So
Mhm.
I think some people made a comment on the video that they thought some people thought it was a sweet story, and again bringing up about how kids are kids and they aren't prejudiced, and if a person strikes you as being a nice person or a nice playmate, then yeah, you're going to hang with kids. I know I was like that, and I know you guys were like that, and probably
Mhm.
most of all of us growing up just wanted friends, despite what you looked at, what you look like.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you what, if this thing was all covered in hair and didn't really speak, I'm guessing, right? It's kind of odd, but yet if you see enough of this creature boy, you probably got used to him and he became a part of your circle of friends.
Although
So,
Glenn has a good point. Creature Boy didn't have clothes. That didn't seem to dawn on the others.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
But couldn't it have been just like an animal that they just knew that it was there? So say, if a stray dog comes up to me and it's friendly,
Yeah.
I will pet it. I will pet it. I'm sorry, it's just something, and I know what a dog is, but I mean, if something was friendly and wanted to play with them and they just got used to it and it became the everyday normal thing to do.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I mean that's an excellent point.
believe a believable story, though.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think it's believable. I do. I mean, again, like you guys know how I roll and pretty much how most of us roll. I mean, we take these stories. We didn't walk in these people's shoes. I think it happened. But here's the thing. You know how just the other day, and we do this all the time. A lot of people do this. We all talk about flesh and blood versus supernatural versus the spirit world when it comes to like cryptids and Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then they mentioned about the hair melting with that incident later on with the boiling
Mhm.
water. I don't know if he
Yeah.
just threw that in there. I mean, I guess it probably happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the body of the story with this person, creature boy, was it a creature? Was it a human though? I mean, what do you think? Do you think this was maybe it was a person? It was suggested that maybe it was from a native tribe and maybe was a human being that had poor grooming or had accelerated growth with the hair. And I was thinking that too until he brought up the family, which looked pretty much like him, but different shapes and sizes. So, flesh and blood, person, Bigfoot. Was this a Bigfoot or Sasquatch? Or was it something else?
I
The
believe it myself. I just believe that it was Sasquatch, and I think it was. I don't think it was a full flesh and blood because of, like you said, the water incident.
the water incident, the hair melting off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
could it have been a is it possible it had mange or some kind of like that, and it washed the loose hair off? It's very possible. Is it possible that they were just feral people, and maybe they were wearing something for clothes that they had killed? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I mean, because boiling water will take hair off. I mean, that's what we dipped our pigs in before we scraped the hair off because it made the hair, So it's very possible if they were wearing a hide of some kind and they hit it with boiling water that,
Yeah.
it could have took the hair off.
No, I
So
can
I'm
see
just
that,
wondering.
and like you said, feral people, I could see that possibly too. I mean, but feral people, I don't feel like they're going to have long hair, all their arms and their legs, like, a Sasquatch would. And the way that they described it, I took it as it was hair head to toe.
Yeah.
Where a feral person is still a human being. I feel like they're a real person. They're just, bad hygiene. So therefore, I could see where they would have a lot more hair because, they don't shave. They don't, Yeah.
Yeah. And I know
it's a interesting case. Nothing else.
Yes. Absolutely.
it just makes you wonder again. It's another one of those things where we talk about all these things almost on a daily basis. Yeah, this is something that's a little different.
Mhm.
Similar but different. Like, it seems like we always say that. But this was really, I'm thinking this was Sasquatch. I
Mhm.
guess I certainly don't think this was paranormal or anything like that. I think
Yeah.
that, and yes, I mean, okay, let me ask you this: if you throw boiling water on a human being, our skin will melt as long as, and our hair.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah.
dump a pot of boiling water, let's say, on a cat, and and that's disgusting, I know, but I'm just any sort of mammal with hair or
Mhm.
fur, maybe. But
Yeah.
these folks got hair. Does that, I don't know, does that melt too, you guys, or does that mat up and just burn their skin? I wonder, which I guess would lead to it falling off.
Mhm.
I never would look to find that information because it's kind of gross. And
Yeah.
Well, is it possible that when they threw the boiling water on it, it just soaked it down and looked like, it showed the bald spots maybe or something, and it just looked, maybe they just thought it was melting off. That's very possible.
Okay. But didn't it yell out a scream too or something?
well, not scream or well,
And she threw
twice.
water or something.
Twice in the story. Once when he first saw it again
Yeah.
as an adult, to scream, but I think it was more of a communication thing. And yes, she did say, the grandmother said, yes, it did scream off and run into the
Yeah,
woods.
That's what I
And then
thought.
the next day, the kid, or the now not kids now, but older adults, younger adults, they went into the forest and they were communicating out into the forest. That was not done on purpose. We did not even see you there. My grandmother did not even see you there when the water was just kind of pitched,
Right. Right. Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah,
yes.
it's an interesting encounter, and if that in fact is true, and it was a Sasquatch. Wow, how lucky were you?
Well, it also sounds like that they had been there for quite some time because of the grandfather leaving the roots. So it sounds like they've been there for some time.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't nothing new to the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just hard to say. It's hard to say because you don't know the whole story and what everything that went on. But I'm assuming that the children knew about these, about the Sasquatch before they even went out in the woods. They already knew about it because their grandfather knew about it, and it didn't really scare him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that it could have happened. I really do think that it could have happened. Like I said, if the grandfather was not scared when he had that encounter, when he left the roots, he'd already known that these Sasquatch were, around,
Mm-hmm.
and he knew exactly what to do.
Yep. And I could see that, like Brandi said, she made the point back in the 80s. I was a child, grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we came in when the street light came on, and my mom, she didn't really know where we were, or who we were with. I mean, it was just what we did.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the days I used to go to the ballpark, play baseball, on the weekend for sure.
Yeah.
From after breakfast, right around lunchtime, I'm off to the ballpark, the Diamond, which was like a couple blocks up the road, and all our friends
Yeah.
would gather. And we would, and you know what we would do? We always knew to be home at dinner time.
Right.
And because if I wasn't, my dad would be pretty mad.
Yep.
And then right after dinner, guess what we did? We went back to the park again until we couldn't play ball no more because the sun went down.
Yeah. Yep.
Did that religiously throughout my growing up.
Yeah. I mean, I came home to, use the restroom and we'd be back out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd grab a snack. Gotta grab a snack.
Yep. Yep.
Not a drink, because you drink from the hose.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
I still drink from the hose.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
some of your best water. Some of your best water comes from the garden hose.
Yep.
Mhm.
Nice.
That's what's wrong with me.
For sure. Interesting times, wasn't it?
We used to have when I was living out in the country, we didn't have a swimming hole nearby. You had to walk half mile to get to the swimming hole, and sometimes you may not want to swim in it. Depending on what kind of friends that were already in there.
Yeah.
But
don't you have alligators in Texas too? I wouldn't want to swim in a swimming hole in Texas because of alligators.
Well, back then it was more snakes than anything else.
Well, that too.
But I had what we called a swimming barrel. It was nothing but a 55-gallon barrel, and I'd fill it full of water, and it would heat up during the day, and I could, splash around in it.
There you
Well,
go.
that's when I was, small enough you could do somersaults in the damn barrel. I was that little, But it's like you came in at dark.
Yep.
Mhm.
And really, that was just to eat supper and check in. I went right back out, during the summer and on the weekends. But
And you know what? I really, honestly, I don't remember wearing a seatbelt until about 25 years ago.
oh no, I don't either.
We never did. We never wore a seatbelt or.
Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, I can remember the whole debate when the seatbelt law first came into effect.
Yeah.
I also remember when they lowered the speed limit to 55, everybody had a fit.
Yep. I remember 55 speed limit.
I remember 55, and I remember I was really ticked off about the seatbelt law because I never wore one until I was.
Yep.
I think I was even driving for a couple of years.
And then I was mad when you had to wear them because then they started making cars that would ding if you didn't have your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So then
I remember
I'd fasten it behind me.
I remember the whole when the speed limits changed to 55 and they did this whole campaign, and it was all across the country. It was a whole campaign about drive 55, stay alive. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I remember that, but I do remember that whole campaign. We were traveling, and I can't even remember that. But we were traveling, stopped at a rest area when rest areas were nice to stop at that time. And they were handing out stickers and flyers and, all of this stuff out there and it had all this stuff. It says drive 55, stay alive.
And
So,
Sammy Hagar couldn't drive 55 either.
Yeah,
that song came out a lot later.
There you go.
Yeah. I remember, you're talking about seatbelts and all that kind of stuff and the way we rode and all that kind of stuff. I remember when we would drive up to Texarkana to see my family, and it, 3-hour drive. My favorite place to ride was, of course, it depends if we were in the car or not. If we were in the truck, you sat between the parents. But if we was in the car, I rode up on the back dash against the back window, laid up there and slept in the sun.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember doing that, and riding in the back of a pickup truck.
Oh yeah.
And you'd always want to sit above the wheel, because you had that little seat to sit on.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we'd go down busy roads back there, and
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We pile kids in the back seat, in the back of the truck where you couldn't sit on top of each other.
Yep.
Yeah, we did too. Do you remember going to the drive-in movies? We had the drive-in theaters, and we all had cars. We had the big old boat cars, and you had to pay. And we're kids, didn't have that much money. Maybe you got an allowance, maybe you had a part-time job, maybe whatever. But you always put. We would always put. It was always the girls because they were always smaller in the trunk.
Yep.
And sneak them in.
Sneak them in. Yep.
Oh, not only put us in the trunk, but remember when we used to get paper bags from the grocery store? We would make popcorn and fill one of those bags up and melt our own butter. And then by the time we got to the drive-in, the whole side of the bag would be like greasy. But that was the best popcorn ever.
Yep. Yep. Sure was.
We still have a drive-in down here where I live.
Wow.
We have one too.
There's one about 30 miles from here.
Now it's a lot different because, back when you went to the drive-through, you had that one little speaker that sounded absolutely horrible. Now you tune into a radio station.
Radio station, yeah. Jackie Hall makes a comment here about, or my brother and I would sleep in my stepdad's station wagon. Remember the old station wagons with the seat that faced out the back? Do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember
my
those.
uncle had one of those.
At the time, I thought they were so cool.
Me too, because you could, you were facing out the back. That was a cool place to ride.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, because I was not even a teenager, because you know how we all get opinions and attitudes when you turn a certain age as a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Prior to that, I thought it was cool. And then my dad still had that car. Well, my dad got a new car every 2 years, but for whatever reason, he loved that station wagon. And when I became that age of, in the teen years, I said, Dad, that is such a dorky car, man. Get rid of that thing.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
I got to ask you guys, we just did that story. We always talk about the different things about Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever. Does that change your opinion at all with your thoughts, though? Because I was just thinking, as we were just talking, and Tex made the thought about feral people and all that. It's just, to me, it kind of clouds my judgment a little bit now when we hear these stories or we hear about accounts about it. Or are you guys kind of the same?
Yeah.
It don't affect my opinion any.
Yeah, I think I'd be more scared of the feral people, though.
Yeah, because I can't imagine a group of actual human. Okay, here's my thing. If this guy thinks you're human, I can't picture human beings running around, killing cattle, living in the woods like that. I mean, I guess it exists. I just can't picture that. I can picture a Sasquatch doing it, but not a person, or maybe a person that was born in the woods and never knew any better. That perhaps, but a human being, just because that's a tough pill for me to swallow, I think.
Agreed.
Well, I would think even being, if it was a family of feral people, I think there would be some language there.
It's something.
Yeah.
And I think if it was feral people, because, you read and you hear about feral people, they're not nice. So is a feral mama and daddy going to let their feral child play with other children? I just don't see that happening.
If they even cared.
Right. True.
So I'm gonna go with y'all. I'm gonna go with probably a family of Sasquatch at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I think I'm gonna go with that.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with that.
Greg Ogle says I transform into a feral person after midnight.
Yeah, you can't get him wet. You can't get him wet or feed him after midnight. He's like a gremlin. And Donnie says he is a feral person. We know, Donnie, you are.
Yeah.
Donnie Cho says stuff.
Is Donnie coming to Alabama?
Yes, he is.
Awesome. Very cool.
Everybody's going to be there.
Good deal.
And from what I understand, there's going to be several people that are going to be celebrating birthdays down there. I know a couple of people texted me that their birthdays up.
Yeah, I know we got BRANDI
that week.
Yeah, well, we got BRANDI and Anita. We always celebrate their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Catherine Gay was telling me her husband's birthday is that week.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's
So that's
cool.
3. Yeah, so it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be quite the event.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be a good
Yeah,
time.
Tex may or may not sing happy birthday on stage. We'll see.
Well, you're gonna stand out for sure in that pink shirt.
Yes.
You are too.
Well, as long as you don't sing the song you played for us tonight before the show, we'll be good.
I might
He will
dedicate
live
that
to see another day.
I might dedicate that to Brandy and sing that.
Maybe. Maybe.
The date of the Alabama conference is June 6th and 7th. So,
7th and 8th.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
7th and 8th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can go to BamaBigfootConference.com and pick up your tickets.
Yeah.
And we still have vendor slots available. So, and guys, those of you that are going to want to have vendor tables, we're doing something a little different. We're opening the vendors area to the public all the time. So people don't have to pay to go to the vendors just to see the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get that influx of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the newest flyer made up by Jason.
Yep.
And I see a lot of newer people coming in that I'm not familiar with. So thanks for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's for you. Because we've been advertising this for a couple months now. Yeah, June 7th and 8th. Tex, our buddy Tex, sitting in the lower left-hand corner, is the host or the MC. Bart Nunnally, Daryl Denton, the Blondes and the Booze, Jason McLean, Greg Ogles, who's in chat. Hi, Greg. Martin Groves, myself. $30 online, 35 at the door. Brought to you by Sidekicks. I like saying that. Brought to you by Sidekicks.
He gets so excited
they're
about
doing-
that he messes up the ticket prices.
Did I reverse them again?
Yes.
I got problems, I guess. I'm reading it as I'm reading
30
it as
online. 30 online, 35 at the door.
35 at the door, yeah. 30 online, 35 at the door.
Unless it's
Sidekicks-
Greg Ogles, and we're going to charge him 60.
Yeah. Sidekicks is going to be debuting their new TV show, Para with a Normal.
And Greg Ogles is going to debut
His
the documentary. He's going to have the trailer out for it as well.
There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. And not just the meet and greet on Friday night, guys. We go out after the conference, and we're gonna have a good time. That's when
we're gonna end up somewhere. Yeah,
that's when we'll have the birthday parties.
There you go. I like I said earlier, I talked to Nellie on the phone. I told her her and the PRT crew should come on down to Anniston, Alabama, and hang out.
Absolutely. Come on.
Yep.
Everybody's, that'd be fantastic.
Yep.
And there's a little bonus. Danielle's going to be there. Danielle Diva's going to be there, and she's going to be doing live readings there in the vendors area. So,
absolutely.
And then we'll have Tex.
Love Tex.
Yeah.
And then he'll be singing you a tune, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Maybe we'll have Texas karaoke night or something.
And also, I'll have my book
karaoke night.
Texas karaoke. Well, we did karaoke a couple years ago. We knocked it out of the ballpark. If I recall, Tex, and
we did. We did our own Texas front porch rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, we did, and we did that, and we didn't know that it was on every TV monitor in the entire bar.
Well,
it was like 100 people in that
we'll
place.
be in good company there too, because our last LBL trip, a friend of Bart's was there, and he brought his guitar, and he and Bart were picking and singing. And I'll tell you what, Bart can sing. He used to be in a band, so we'll have some. Yeah, it was good.
You have some backup singers. Be careful.
Yeah, because Randy, I guarantee you, Randy would bring his guitar, and they'd be picking and grinning.
Before we forget, I gotta do this really quick because this was pretty cool. I want to thank Texas Front Porch, or Tex really, gifting 10 Bigfoot Mystery Rob memberships, Liberty for your super chat, 2 Shadows for your super chat, Josh Castro for your super chat, 2 Shadows, for now also gifting some memberships, 1, 2, 3, 4 for your super chat, Danielle Diva for your super sticker. Really appreciated by everybody. Thanks so much for that. And for the new people coming in, because there are a few, you might have came over from PRT and you might just happen on by chance. Subscribe to Bigfoot and Mr. Rob on YouTube. Subscribe to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to Texas Front Porch on YouTube. Paranormal Roundtable on YouTube. Barton Only in Humanoids YouTube. Donnie Cho says stuff. I see Donnie out there.
Yep.
Hook him up. I can't name everybody, but that's our posse we hang with.
Yep.
For the
Also,
most part.
Prospecting USA Hunting America's Treasure says, I want y'all to meet Mark Green from Cedar Creek Bottoms Homestead. Actually, Brandy and I did. He was at the LBL last time we were there, and we did. We actually did meet him and his wife. Very nice, good people.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And Prospecting said they already bought a ticket for Alabama.
Well, we look forward to meeting you.
Yeah, this could be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it this time. Well, the last 2 times I went was cool. Texas and Alabama, back to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll try not to get stopped by TSA this time.
Yeah, that's the story for another time, I guess. You know, I that's a fantastic story. Good old BMR did get stopped. I had a Bigfoot cast that I brought with me that TEX so graciously bought for me. I guess I can tell the story. We got a few minutes, so I'm a lot of newer people. I had this Bigfoot cast, everybody, in my bag. And as I'm standing, and I put it between my clothes, sandwiched in between, and it was bad enough I had to take 5 planes to get home. Tex and Jason drove home, and I took a plane. They beat me home. Go figure.
It's
Anyway.
12-hour drive, folks.
Yeah, and I was still at airports. So my bag, this guy's in front of me, and my bag goes down the belt. Then it turns right. My bag turns to the right, and while the rest of the bags go forward, and the guy says to me, "Yep, that's not good." I'm like, "Nope." I'm thinking, "What the hell now?" So there was just 2 agents at this time. They grab my bag. I get, one of these, motion me over, going through my bag. And it's, of course, the Bigfoot casting. And I explain, I was just coming back from a Bigfoot conference. I was a speaker, and this is what it was. And then I, like a dummy, said, "It's not cocaine baked in there." Don't ever mention that word ever in an airport. Yeah, not good. 15 agents immediately came over. Yeah.
You said a bad word, Rob.
Yeah, I said cocaine, or at least I didn't say bomb on the plane. That's probably that's the word. You don't do that. You'll be in prison right now. So all of a sudden, good old BMR, I'm gonna miss my plane. "You're not going nowhere, young man," or whatever the older guy said. I said, "Look, I'm BMR. I'm a personality on YouTube. I know all about Bigfoot." So I started busting out Bigfoot stories.
Yeah.
I'm telling a bunch of stories. They're starting to like it. Then they realize, no, I'm not a smuggler. So now I'm talking Bigfoot with these guys. I tell them our channels and all this. And I said, "Hey, I got to get going. I'm going to miss my plane." They said, "Don't worry, your plane is backed up for 2.5 hours. You're not getting on it." I'm like, "So please tell us more stories." I'm like, "Oh my Lord. Okay." And I don't mind telling a story. So we're BSing. And I take my bag, then I go find this bar. $100 later, I'm telling more stories, and then I get the text from Smart Alex, Tex and Jason. "Where are you at?" "I'm at the airport." "Oh, we're already home." I spent more money at the airport lounge than I did the entire trip in Alabama. Don't ever do what I did. That's the moral of the story. But it was fun. I met a lot of cool people. Told some stories. Probably got a new subscriber. So whatever.
Awesome.
There you go. That kind of sounds like what happened to me when I flew in to Boston and I had to take an Uber over to Salem. Okay. So on my way back, I had stopped at this crystal shop and they had a selenite sphere. And it was probably about 3 or 4 pounds. I mean, it was a good sized sphere. Anyway, so they put it in a box where he wrapped it all up so I could put it in my backpack and take it home on the plane. Well, as soon as my backpack went through that thing, you've seen the big red light go bing. I was like, oh God, no. So they're like, well, what is that? I said, it is a crystal.
It's rock.
I don't know what was going on. They're just looking at me. And she goes, I'm going to need you to take that out. I said, okay. I said, I can't open it up. It is taped tight. There's no way. So then they had to go find somebody with a knife that could open up this whole box. So we got it all open, showed it to them, and, you know, we got in a discussion about that. And anyway, then I couldn't tape it back up. They didn't have any tape. So I got this backpack, and when I got on the plane, I felt it come out of the box. It jiggled out of the box. So I could feel it in my backpack swaying back and forth. And I'm being very careful not to hit anybody on the plane with that, because that would have knocked them out for real.
Yeah, no
I was like,
kidding.
okay. So I finally took it off on my back and set it down. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I got caught by TSA for a selenite sphere. Just saying.
They'll get you for anything these days, won't they?
And I'm like, did you see any wires coming out of that thing, that anything that remotely looked like a bomb, except it was like circular, like a cartoon bomb would be?
Who knows?
I
You
don't
got a
know.
little plutonium on the plane.
I got like, did you see any wires? That's what I was thinking. Did you see anything that, except it was circular? You know, I didn't get it, but you know, I'm like, okay. But I'm pretty sure Boston has to be pretty tight, you know, on their security and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tex did mention at the beginning of the show that we've got a lot of travel and conference stories, and that was just a sample.
Mm-hmm.
We could go for another 2 hours with my dumb incidents, and all of us could.
Yeah, because me and Jason and Bob had the hotel from hell in Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
See, and I travel alone a lot. So I have a ton of stories myself.
Yes. And I'm sure we'll have more this June 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
Anderson,
I'll be
Alabama.
in fact, I'll be in Falk at the end of the month, the 27th.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about that, Texas, KRISTA, and Brandi. You're going somewhere.
Isn't that like next week, Tex?
It's pretty soon.
It's next
It's
week.
next week.
Next week?
Is it?
Next week.
Okay. Okay.
The Falk Monster. Brandi, KRISTA, you guys are not doing anything until the conference, or you got anything else? I know
Brandy's going to Falk. I'm not.
Brandi, okay, KRISTA, you're staying laying
Yeah,
low.
and then we have an event coming up at Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois. We're doing a mini conference during the day. We're going to feed you dinner, and then we're going to take you and ghost hunt all night long. So you can go check out that on Eventbrite and hit Blondes and Booze, and it should be the first thing that pops up.
Yep.
Well,
Here it
that
is. I'm going to add it in the chat here right now. Anybody interested in,
Yeah.
getting tickets? That's it right there.
awesome.
Just dropped it.
So it's an all day, all night. So make sure you get your rest.
Yeah. Yes.
You're going to need it.
Yeah. Because we don't sleep.
No,
No,
I take 20-minute cat naps.
I mean, especially for what you guys have done and what you have currently going on. And when I go hang out with you guys, I'm not, I'm in my room to take a shower,
Yeah.
maybe
Thank you, Bob.
sleep for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's about what you get with me and KRISTA. We're going pretty much all the time. So when we're out, we're gone.
Yep.
We
Absolutely.
figure we can rest when we get home.
That's right.
And I get to kick it with KRISTA in the car because I'm going to her
Mhm.
house for driving to see Bart and Letitia.
That's all right. We'll be able to FaceTime
Yeah.
because I'll be going one way, she'll be going another. Hey, we'll be able to FaceTime, make jokes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a live.
We were thinking about something similar to that as well.
Yeah.
We all
I think I did a live with you.
here, you know that.
I did a live with you, Rob. Thinking about it, I did a live with you. I was driving to Indiana.
You were.
Yep.
I was on. Yeah, you did do it with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. I
Yep.
do remember. That was pretty.
I was driving away.
I do remember. Yep, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be funny if we'll just do a live while we're traveling.
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
giggles.
just get on there and just because I know when I'm at the airport, I might go live at the airport. Here I am. I missed my flight. No.
Yes, Mickey. When we get there in October, you're going to need rest. You're going to have to rest up.
Yep.
So that's so again, thank you to everybody for coming on, and thank you once again for all the amazing support with the super chats and the BMR pirate memberships. Don't forget to subscribe to us. Yeah, if you're new here, or if you just simply haven't done so yet, we appreciate that. With that being said, I'm parched. I know the girls are probably getting ready to go to bed. I don't know what Texas got going on, but it's time for me to go relax for a little bit and see if I can conjure up any strange dreams to tell KRISTA and BRANDI about.
Oh gosh, you have some of the weirdest dreams.
I really do. With that being said, on to the high strangeness for the rest of the evening. For BRANDI, KRISTA, my buddy TEX, we're out.
Good night.
Good night.
Are you ready?